Hello, and welcome to the HOA Information and Resource Center's video on association records. This video will discuss the records that an association must retain and produce, what records an association member is entitled to, and how those records should be requested. Although members of HOAs are entitled by law to certain documents and records of the association, if those documents and/or records are properly requested and the association refuses to provide them within the allowed time frame, the requester will have to file a lawsuit in order to force the association to provide them. In addition to your governing documents, the relationship between you and your association is governed by the Colorado Common Interest Ownership Act, frequently referred to by its initials, CCIOA or Kiowa. Section 38-33.3-317 of Kiowa states that associations are required to maintain certain records for the purposes of document retention and production to owners. Kiowa distinguishes an association's records into three categories: must provide, may provide, and must withhold. Records in the may provide category are subject to be withheld at the discretion of the executive board. The following records must be provided when properly requested. They include minutes of all association meetings, association receipts and expenditures, and the association's membership list. Among many other items, records in the must produce category also include the association's most recent report to the Colorado Secretary of State, the association's most current reserve study, if any, as well as all written communications sent to homeowners in the past 3 years. The following records may be produced when properly requested. They include contracts, leases, bids, or records related to transactions to purchase or provide goods or services that are currently under negotiation, records of an executive session of an association board, and records related to or concerning individual units other than those of the requesting owner. The following records must be withheld despite being properly requested. They include personnel, salary, or medical records relating to specific individuals, or personal identification and account information of members, including bank account information, telephone numbers, email addresses, driver's license numbers, and social security numbers. Although entitled to certain records, homeowners must be sure to request those records in the appropriate manner. Kiowa requires associations to adopt policies, procedures, and rules and regulations concerning the inspection and copying of association records by unit owners. Unit owners should review their association's record request policy when requesting records. All records maintained by an association for the purposes of document retention and production to owners must be available for examination and copying by a unit owner or the owner's authorized agent. An association may require unit owners to submit a written request describing with reasonable particularity the records sought at least 10 days prior to inspection or production of the documents, and may limit examination and copying times to normal business hours or the next regularly scheduled executive board meeting if the meeting occurs within 30 days after the request. A membership list may not be obtained or used by any person for any purpose unrelated to a unit owner's interest as a unit owner without consent of the executive board. Without board consent, a membership list may not be used to solicit money or property unless such money or property will be used solely to solicit the votes of unit owners in an association election. It may not be used for any commercial purpose, and it may not be sold to or purchased by any person. Notwithstanding any provision of the declaration, bylaws, articles, or rules and regulations of the association to the contrary, the association may not condition the production of records upon the statement of a proper purpose. The association may impose a reasonable charge, which may be collected in advance and may cover the costs of labor and material for copies of association records. The charge may not exceed the estimated cost of production and reproduction of the records, and any dispute as to the reasonableness of the charge will likely have to be determined by a court. This has been an educational presentation by the HOA Information and Resource Center. Thank you for watching.